Welcome to the Manifest with the Chakras podcast. My name is Supriya Prasad. Welcome everybody. I am your intuitive chakra alignment strategist and coach. And today we're actually talking about the energetics of money and how money is really a mind, body, and soul experience. And today I have my guest, Lisa Marie, and she is known as Sassy Wealth Queen, is a fractional CFO, wealth mentor, and founder of Transcendent Wealth Co. She helps high-achieving women entrepreneurs make, manage, and multiply their wealth with strategy and sass. With over 20 years in finance and personal journey from finance struggle to success, she blends no BS financial strategy with mindset shifts to help women take control of their money and build lasting wealth. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about the energetics of money. And I actually listen to your podcast quite a bit. I've actually listened to a few episodes now, it's awesome. I can't remember, who did you have on there? There was somebody that talked about, oh gosh, and I can't remember his name, that he talked about like building wealth and money, and I feel like a lot of your episodes aren't like that, but like building wealth and money and like, oh gosh, I can't think of his name. So it was definitely a more recent episode. I loved that particular episode, and I loved there was another episode that you had on there, which I just loved too. And of course, I also loved the one with Amanda. Like, a lot of your episodes were amazing about money. I truly believe that that money is energy. It's an energetic balance. I always think that money, even something as energy is neither good nor bad in the spiritual world. We kind of put our own projections on that. Would you say that that's really the same thing when it comes to money?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, matter of fact, I did a post about this not a while back, where I say, I explained that money doesn't make you more money, and building wealth doesn't make you a bad person. All it does is amplify who you are already. So if you're a good person and you do good things, then more money is going to amplify that, right? It's going to amplify you being able to do those things. So it's energetically going to help you be able to do more and more of the good things. Whereas if you're already, quote unquote, a bad person, then yes, more money will negatively energetically affect you, but it's going to bring out who you are already, just amplify it. And most of us who are building wealth, we're not bad people. We're just afraid if we build wealth or if we have more money, it makes us bad people. Like, wanting more money makes us a bad person. And that's not true. All it's going to do is amplify what you're already wanting to do, what your mission is out in the world. That's all it's going to do, is amplify that. It's pure energy. It's I tell people, when we treat it like a relationship and we treat it like energy and a tool, we are pleasantly surprised what can be accomplished.
Yes. I love that. Money is definitely an amplifier. I actually said something a while back to a friend a long time ago that says, money and fame and drugs kind of do the same thing. Like, they only amplify the person that you really are. And I also said, like, I think fame does the same thing to people. They only amplify the person that they are. Money, I feel like money does the same thing to people. Yeah. And it's funny because you see people getting famous and they're like, oh, they're such assholes, like such assholes, like when they became famous. And I'm sure, and I'm sure that there was probably some aspect that, got them a little bit more of that person. But I feel like you're already an asshole before fame. and you're already
It's already
somebody
part
that
it's
wants.
already it's already in your it's already part of you. It just may not. I mean, of course, now that we have social media and we have the internet, we're able to see the things a lot more than we could see them before, right? Where we know about them. Like, I mean, long before we would have, before social media existed. Um, but one of the things I noticed is that, like you're talking about with fame, if you look at some of the, um, I mean, we'll do Taylor Swift for an example. Taylor Swift is famous, whether you like her or not. She's famous. She's making millions and millions of dollars. And what is she doing? She's doing good. She's doing good in the world. She makes these donations. She does these things. She's not
Right.
doing that because she's doing that because that's what she wants to do. And the money allows her to do it on an amplified basis. And so when someone says, oh, having more money is going to make me a bad person, I look at them and go, okay, if you had more money, what would you want to do with it? And when they start listing it, and I'd say for your audience, the same thing. If you think that, I want you to write down what you would do with it. Literally the first thing, and it's not to judge you, but just list the first 5 things that come to your mind. If you had an unlimited amount of money, what would be some of the things you do? Most of us, it's going to be giving back to our community, helping, maybe it's a family, or helping someone in need, or giving a home to someone that's homeless, or donating to food banks like Taylor Swift does. Okay, those aren't bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of them could be buying you a house. There's nothing bad about that either, because I got news for you. One of them's mine. That's like the first one on my list is me and my kids having a home. Want my kids to have a home, so if anything was ever happened to me, they're not kicked out of a place that I'm renting. They have a place. So that's not bad. You're doing something with the money that you're getting to make a difference in the world. And in my opinion, please go out there and make all the damn money that you can so that you can do that.
I love that. Like, and I feel like money is definitely energetic. Money is definitely an amplifier. We definitely can do a lot of money. I think a lot of us have money stories about money is bad, rich people are bad, money is like, we have to save, we have to use an emergency fund. Oh my gosh. I actually heard on another thing I was listening to never actually call it an emergency fund.
I have a podcast. One of my episodes is about that. One of my episodes is don't call it an emergency fund. I call it a rainy day savings. We take the word emergency out because your brain can think anything's an emergency. And then if that's the case, you go and use it, and then you'll have another quote unquote emergency, and then you don't have the money for it. So what I tell people is if you only want one account, just call it a rainy day savings. I personally have separate accounts for individual things. So like I have one for my girls, I have one for my fur babies, so that if they have to go to the vet or the emergency vet, which is technically an emergency, there's money in that account allocated just for them. So I do it separate so that I don't have anything that says emergency. And it's a mindset shift, really. And for me, it works having those separate accounts. Some people want just one. Okay. Call it rainy day. That way it's not in your brain, quote unquote, that it, is for emergencies. We have one that's just for our house. So like if an appliance breaks, we have money that's in there just for that, so that we have these accounts where money goes in and it stays there just for those specific type of things that may happen. And it's become it's been a lifesaver. It's saved us like thousands of, I just can't tell you how many times it saved us when we had a quote unquote emergency, vehicle breakdown, or we had to buy a new stove or whatever, those are a couple of things that have actually happened. And we haven't had to go, oh crap, now this is going to screw up our cash flow and and screw up our money as far as being able to pay the bills. Well, no, because we had these accounts already set up and we had money in it.
Yes. I heard on another podcast, you should always call it like an opportunity fund. as well.
That's a good word too. Yeah.
Opportunity. And it makes me think, like, what are we unconsciously, maybe even as a collective, putting out there in the universe about money that could be, very well like having not good intentions with money, like the language of emergency, for example, or not being able to afford that, or not being able, or saying something is too expensive, or these things that we could be putting out there into the universe that we're not really doing. I think the language around money, I think, is so important. I know you talk about that a lot. What are like some tips or something that they can use for somebody that wants to change their language around money?
Well, one of the things is, society has it ingrained in us, right? Of a lot of this language, and then also upbringing. And one of the things we were actually talking about this in the mastermind coach, or in the mastermind that I'm in. And, language is very powerful. Words are very powerful. What we speak, what we say, what we write is very powerful. That's the reason why they say, think it, write it, speak it. There's a reason why they tell you that. It's because it's that powerful. When you do those things, it's ingrained into you. So I'm going to say the same thing, except I'm going to tell you to flip the script. So I want you to flip it, right? So when a negative thought comes in, I want you to flip it. And one of the things that we do when we flip it is we take the word just and only out. Like someone says, I only make this much money, or I just make this much money. You're literally you're literally energetically holding yourself to not receiving more. And it plays such a power. It's just so powerful because those words are very powerful, and you don't realize how it affects you subconsciously as to what you how you earn your money and how much money you bring in. So, and yes, it may be true that you make $50,000 a year just for a suffice, right? Or we'll say $80,000 a year, but you don't just make it. You make $80,000 a year, because you give yourself credit, right? Because most of us don't give ourselves enough credit. So, okay. So one of the negative things that comes about, I still catch myself doing this. We'll say, can't afford it, or I'm broke. What I flip it to is, that's not in the budget right now.
Yes, that's what I.
Or the money is not allocated for that right now. Let's go and look at the money roadmap, budget, whatever the hell you want to call it, and let's make a plan for it. But when you stop that I'm broke part, or saying I can't afford it, and instead flip it and say, I'm unable to make that investment yet. So like in the business world, that's what I do. And a matter of fact, I just did it. There's an investment I want to make. And I didn't say can't. I said I'm unable to make that investment yet. So the yet goes in the end, because when you say yet, that means not right now, but you're not saying I can't afford it, right? You're saying I'm unable to make the investment yet. So that means I could be able to make the investment in the future. That means you can make a plan. That means you're not slamming a door of possibility. You know what I mean? You're not slamming that door from possibility being able to come in. And it's just really important on how we play on those words. I used to be told that money didn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
And no, they don't. And I don't want to tell my kids that. I don't want to tell my kids we can't afford that. We can't do that. We can't do that. Or there's not enough money. That's not what I want to do. So instead of those things, I tell them that we did not allocate that into the money roadmap for this month. Let's look down and see what we can do for next month. And it gets them saying, where I didn't tell them no, right? I didn't do it negatively, right? I just said, let's create a plan for it. And do they always like that? No. I mean, they're kids. They want instant gratification, okay? When they want something, they want it then. And it still puts a you're able to say no, right? And you're letting them know, okay, that's not that you're able to stick to your boundaries, I guess is what I'm trying to say, with how you spend your money. Because if you have kids, and you have a money roadmap, it's really hard sometimes, especially if you're trying not to be negative and talk negatively about money and pass down the stuff that have been passed down to you from generations upon generation upon generation. Because I still catch myself and I'll just stop and go, okay, that's not what I want to say. Or I'll correct myself, right? I'll say, instead of saying I'm stuck in my money mindset, I'll say I'm disconnected right now from my money. So you're not stuck, you're just disconnected and you need to get reconnected. And how you get reconnected is just reframing those words. And so when you have whatever negative script you see you're saying constantly, I would suggest, what I would tell you to do is flip it. So make it a positive, whether it's adding the word yet, or, you can say that your money management is a work in progress, right? Instead of saying you're bad at money, my money management is a work in progress. I'm getting better and better with managing my money. It's positive. So once you reframe it, think it, write it, speak it. And then I would suggest you do that every single day. And I've even gone as to whatever positive you reframed it, write it on a sticky note and have it on your mirror. So it's the first thing you see in the morning in the bathroom. And it's the last thing you see before you go to bed. Because words are very powerful. And when you see it, you look at it, you read it out loud. So you read it silently, then you say it out loud and you think it, and then you go to bed. I used to think that shit's just what? Yeah. It works. Okay. It works. And my analytical brain loves it. Okay. Because it works.
So thinking I will be a 6-figure entrepreneur in 2025, writing it down so you can see it, writing it down in the mirror so you can see it. And, and then, speaking out loud before you go to bed at night, and before you go to bed at night. Actually, before you go to bed, that's probably the best thing you can do, because then it actually gets into your subconscious.
I do it right before I go to bed. So it's on the mirror. So it's there before I go to bed. And then it's there when I first wake up, because I go in to brush my teeth. So after I brush my teeth, I look up, I read it silently, I say it out. So I'm thinking it, right? So I look at it, I read it, I think it, and then I speak it out loud.
Yes.
And when I speak it out loud, I just stand there for maybe a couple seconds, just letting it sink in. And then I go about my day.
Yes,
it's very potent. It's very powerful. It's a lot more powerful than people think.
Yeah. And, I love that. I love that you are putting that strategy out there where, think it, see it, and really be it, with money. And one of the things that I've actually heard, and I've actually tried and I've actually done before, is being in that energetic of money, being that vibration of the person that has money, of what they really want to be. What are some suggestions that you can give to people that want to be, besides, the think it, see it, and the think it, see it, and speak it mindset, which I've always heard? There's actually a girl who literally said she got like a faux fur coat from Amazon, and that made her feel like money, and all of that. Are there any tips that you can give that could make that where people can feel like they're in the energetics, that energy of like a wealthy person?
Well, in my opinion, being truly wealthy is more than money. Okay?
Mm.
Being truly wealthy is there to me there's 5 wealth codes. So there's 5 areas of being wealthy. And that's your spiritual, your energetic, your mental, spiritual, energetic, mental, physical, and financial.
Mm.
And when you are wealthy in those areas, you're truly aligned with your core values and your goals and your desires. So, how I feel wealthy is I look and I go, okay, what do I value? What's one of my core values? One of my core values is time. Okay. To me, time is worth all the amount of money. Okay. To me, time is money because we all have 24 hours, right? So somebody may think this is like, what? How does that make you wealthy? But hear me out, because what I'm about to tell you, the example is what makes me feel wealthy. Okay. I don't mind going to the grocery store. I love going to, I don't hate it. But I don't mind going to the grocery store. Well, recently it was raining buckets. And I was like, I am not driving 30 minutes to the grocery store, spending an hour and a half in the grocery store, then having to unload the groceries. So I'll be another 15 minutes in pouring rain and then drive back. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to order them and I'm going to go drive. When they say they're available, I'm going to drive. I'm going to raise it. Somebody else is going to put the stuff in my vehicle and I'm going to drive back. Y'all, it saved me 4 hours. It gave me back 4 hours of my time. And I didn't do it just once. I did it twice just to make sure. And once it was dry. I ordered it on a Saturday night. I went, picked it up at 8 a.m. on Sunday, was home by 8:30 Sunday morning. Okay. And I was able to unload my groceries and then meal prep and be done by noon. I cannot tell you that has never, I can't tell you, excuse me, that has never been done before. Like normally I'm getting back from the grocery store at noon and I'm still having to get my children's clothes washed and get them ready for the week. The amount of time that it gave back to me, I felt like the wealthiest person in the world because I was able to go for my walk because it was nice outside. I was able to food prep and be done by noon. I was able to sit down and relax some or go outside and play with my dogs. Do you see what I'm saying? Being wealthy is what are the things that you enjoy in life? What are the things that you love doing? And if you're not doing those, why? Is it because you're stressed over money all the time? Is it because you're overspending? Is it because you don't know what the hell's going on with your money, whether it's your business or your personal? So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is get real. Get real, have a check-in with your money and see what I call profit leaks. If there are any profit leaks going on. And it doesn't matter if it's personal or business, we all have money leaks. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to plug those money leaks, because when you plug those money leaks and then you know what's going on with your money, you take your control back. When you take your control back, you become empowered. When you become empowered with your money, you start feeling wealthy.
Wealthy. Oh,
because now you're deciding what you're doing with your money. Your money's not just disappearing. So like, for example, most of us, if we have kids that always want to go out to eat. They always want to go out to eat. I have an out to eat account, y'all. Okay. My kids now know not to ask me if we can go out to eat. They ask me, Mom, how much money is in the out to eat account? Is there any funds in the out to eat account? And they know once there's no money in the out to eat account, we don't go out to eat, or they don't get to go out to eat, because I don't eat out as nearly as much as they do. But there has to be money in that account. Okay. So that's me taking back control and only allocating a certain amount each month to going out. So if you and your spouse love to go out more than buying groceries, then set up an out to eat account and allocate a certain amount to go in there each month. And then if there's money in there, great, you get to go out to eat. If there's not, you don't until the following month when you put more money in there.
Oh, I love it. And this is a follow-up question to that. Do your kids know how much money is in the out to eat account every month?
No. No,
Okay.
mine are sneaky little shits. No, they know that I put an allotted amount in there. They know an amount goes in there every month, and I don't lie to them. I mean, if they know normally there's enough in there for them to get one meal and maybe us to go out to eat once, and so if we've done those things, or if they've gotten treated twice, then they know there's no more in there. So they don't need to know the actual amount. You know, they once you sit down and explain and you show them, like, for example, if they want to go out to eat or if they want to do DoorDash. Okay, DoorDash is freaking expensive. Like having something delivered from Wendy's was going to be $21 for my daughter. I was like, no. And it wasn't because we couldn't afford it. It was because, no, you've gone out to eat 3 times last week. There's no money in the out to eat account. And we're going out of town this coming weekend, and we're going to be eating out 3 or 4 times. So let's save that money for them because that's where we've got it allocated for. Now, was she happy? No. Did she live with it? Yes. But not once did I say we couldn't afford it.
And I think that's
I had a real conversation with her about the money and where it was allocated for. They can stomp off and cry all they want. And I'm still having that conversation. And that's where the lack is for all these prior generations. And Supriya, you'll probably say the same thing. Money wasn't, and I think you and I talked about this. So I don't remember if you said money wasn't discussed or maybe money was for you. But majority of us, money is not something that was discussed growing up. And so that's one of the things that I'm trying to kick to the curb is we need to be having money conversations as women, as parents. We need to have these money conversations. It's the reason why I created Cash and Sass podcast is because I want to kick the money taboo to the curb. Not talking about it is not the answer.
Yeah, exactly. And Molly here has such a great question. What would be considered a profit leak?
Oh, that is a good question. Okay, so if it's for, I'll do subscriptions because that can go business and personal. Okay, one of the profit leaks that I call for business is subscription slush fund, and what that means is we've signed up for subscriptions and we forgot that we have them.
Oh my God! Yes.
Now, I don't suggest using an app. I know there's an app. I do Rocket Money or something. I don't suggest using that. And the reason why is because you're depending on something that is not human and you're just letting it go through to you. What I want you to do is I want you to pull the last 3 months of your statements. Yes, I want you to print them out. Yes, I want you to kill some trees, but you're going to understand why. Print them out. Take a couple of different color highlighters. Okay. You're going to highlight all your subscriptions. Literally. And the reason why I say 3 months is because sometimes, and sometimes you can go back. Okay. You could go back 5 months, but normally if you go back 3 to 4 months, you're going to be like, holy crap. What's that for? Y'all, I forgot I had a car wash subscription. Okay, I'm the Sassy Wealth Queen. Okay, I am the Sassy Wealth Queen, and about a year ago, I went and did my quarterly check. And when I did my quarterly check, I went, "What is that? Holy crap! I have a car wash subscription, $30 a month that I forgot I signed up for. So it wasn't added to my money roadmap. That's a leak." Because that's money going down the drain that you're not accounting for, that you don't remember. It's $10 here, it's $15 there. In the business world, it's our softwares or our subscriptions that we sign up for, or the mentorships that we sign up for. You know, those evergreen mentorships, memberships that we sign up for. And then we forget. Because what? Life happened and we got busy, and they could have been $97 or $57. Now, my suggestion is, and I have a spreadsheet that I use in the group program that I have for the women. Is what they do is what I tell them. It's like, okay, on this spreadsheet, I want you to go in and I want you to list all your subscriptions. Here's the key: no judgment. You are not allowed to judge yourself, otherwise it doesn't work. Because if you're, oh crap, I forgot about that. Oh, damn, I'm no good with money. All those things start coming in your head. No, no, and no. What you're doing is you're approaching this from a place of curiosity. My coach will be so glad I said that word, because that's what he says. He says, approach things with curiosity. He says it in the business. I borrow it and say it for this. Approach it with curiosity. Because when you approach it with curiosity, oh, okay, I have Netflix. I have Hulu. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot I still had Sling. I don't want Sling. Guess what? You've got it all on a spreadsheet. You highlight that little bugger and you go and what? Cancel it. And it just saved you $25, $30 a month. And then y'all multiply that by 12 and tell me how much you just saved. That's a profit leak. That's one of those things that's a profit leak. Going out to eat and not realizing how much you're spending on money is a profit leak. I have a client, and I love her to pieces, and she doesn't mind me doing this because I keep her in anonymity. They love DoorDash. They don't like cooking meals, and they were going to the grocery store. But when they did their 90 days, because she swore they didn't spend that much money on groceries. And I was like, honey, money's going somewhere. So they pulled it. They were like, OMG. They were spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on groceries and doing the DoorDash and doing meal delivery. And they didn't realize that money was still going because they were just, and food was being thrown out. It was wasted. So what we did was we said, okay, look, stop going and buying these things. If you're not going to cook it, don't get it. Just put it on your meal delivery and cook it that way and just get the vegetables that you need. Okay. We were able to cut that back. We were able to save them almost $500 a month. Wow. Just by looking at that. There's another client who didn't realize how much they were going to Starbucks. What y'all see in Starbucks, I have no idea, but that's just because I don't drink coffee. And again, no judgment. Okay. So they'll be like, oh, you're going to tell me I have to stop drinking coffee. No. And I'm not going to tell you have to stop going to Starbucks or stop going to Dunkin' Donuts or wherever. What I want you to do is be mindful of how much you're spending. So pull those statements and add it up. And if you're spending $400 a month and you're okay with that, then that's what gets put in your money roadmap. If you're spending $400 and you go, oh my gosh, and that immediately says you don't want to be spending that, guess what? That's a money leak. That's a profit leak. Okay. So now you look and say, okay, how much do I really want to be allocating towards this? How much, instead of going 5, because you can look at the dates. If you're going 6 days a week, okay, you know what? Let's cut it back to 3. How much will that save me each week? So if coffee is $12 and you're going 6 days a week, 3 days, it's going to be $36 a week. I don't do math in my head. 36 times 4, that's $144 a month that you're going to save. So now you take that money, allocate it somewhere else, and only put in the roadmap for Starbucks the $144 that you just budgeted, right? Because you were spending $288 maybe on it. Did you see what I'm saying? So what I do is I don't tell you not to do it, but what I tell you, go print them, pull them out and look and see where your money is actually going, and then determine if that's where you want it to go. And that brings you back to being mindful and empowered, and then you're able to stop those money leaks. But that's the idea of money leaks.
Oh my God, you just dropped so much knowledge there. Yeah, I mean, there's so much there because like, yeah, I mean, I had subscriptions like going, I didn't even know until like the bill came in, until like the invoice is paid. I'm like, oh my God, I'm still paying $400 a year for this. Or I'm paying like $144 a year for this. Or, oh my gosh, I'm paying $20 a month for a networking event that is like not even serving me at this moment. So what am I actually doing here?
And
so,
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. If you do, you're like, oh, Lisa, I have a list. Okay, great. Go through them. And if you have been paying for a membership, say $97, okay, unlimited access, if you've been paying for it for the last year and you haven't logged in once, that's a money leak, because you're literally putting money down a drain, right? So you have to be real with yourself. You know, you have to say, I haven't logged in. I haven't signed in. I was gung-ho about it, but now I just don't see how it's serving me. Go and cancel it. I did. I had a 90-day check. It was $30 a month. I had every intention. I thought it was going to be great. And when I did mine, I always do at least a 90-day to either 90 days or 6 months. I do what I call a check-in, an audit check on my money, okay, of my subscriptions and what's going on, so that I can prevent the profit leak and the money leak. And when I looked at it, I went, I've logged in once in the last 4 months. Is that really serving me? And the answer is no. Could that money be going somewhere else and better serve me? And if the answer is yes, cancel.
Yep. And that's literally where I was at this year. I was like, the networking event, I had to cancel a couple of subscriptions. I had to do a lot of stuff like this year, because I was like, oh my gosh, because I had to, you know why? I had to do taxes. I just had to do, and you know what? Taxes, like filing taxes, is coming up for many business owners right now.
Well, and that would be another money leak, right? Because most people, I did a money mic drop live on that, and I said, for the love of God, stop acting like the IRS just started requiring us to pay taxes. And I was like really blunt. I was like, y'all act like it's a surprise. That it's the first time it's ever happened. It happens every year on the same time every year. And if you're making money, you're going to want to pay taxes, because if you're paying taxes, that means you made a profit, and it means your business is successful. And the IRS is going to want their money. So what I do is I suggest, and I tell everybody this, I don't care if you're against having multiple accounts, fine. Don't have multiple accounts, with the exception, go open a savings account, call it tax savings. If you're just starting your business, okay, fine. You're just starting to make money, put 5% off the top. And when I say off the top, I mean money comes into your account, you move 5% of whatever you were paid immediately into the tax savings. The reason why you're doing it off the top is because if you wait for the net, the money will be gone. Yes, you're going to be taxed on the net, but you don't want to wait until the net to move it, because then you won't have it. Trust me on this. I've been doing it long enough that they're like, oh, I don't have it, so there's no net. No, that is not how this works. You ended up spending it, or you ended up paying yourself, right? As a sole proprietor. Well, guess what? You pay taxes on that. So we want to make sure we move it. And so I move, because I've been in business longer, 15 to 20% goes straight into the tax savings account. I don't touch it. And then I pay my estimated taxes. If you're not making a lot of money, or you're just starting out, start at 5%. The key is to start. Okay. You may not have all of what you need, but get in the habit of it. So that way, that's not a huge burden or money leak, or, oh, hell, you mean I owe $5,000? How? Where the hell did that money go? Why don't I have it? Well, that's a leak.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of businesses get into trouble when they don't have the money to pay the tax person, because they don't know how to allocate money. And I know I was in those situations a couple of times. Thankfully, like I always had like a job to help me pay for the taxes and stuff. But Yeah, there's not a lot of people that have those resources to have those types of taxes.
Well,
And
they heard it here, so
yeah,
they can. The first thing you do, just go open up a savings account, nickname it tax savings. And the reason why you're nicknaming it is because it tells your brain that's not your money.
mm-hmm. Yes.
And you don't borrow from it, you don't touch it, you don't do anything with it. It sits there so that you have it come tax time.
Yes, yes. And oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. And there's there's a lot you can do to start saving as well. Like putting
And
like
do small steps. That's the reason why I said, hey, look, Lisa, I don't know if I can do 10-15%. Okay. Go open the savings account. Step 1. Step 2, every time you get paid, move 5%. Just immediately get in the habit. And then you're going to say, oh, I am making enough money. I should move 10% because, my tax bill last year was $10,000. Okay. Well, then you should be moving more than 5%. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're going to move it every single time. So like if you have 5 clients, for example, I had 5 clients pay me today. Okay. So when I go to move that money, I'm moving 15% of everything that hit my account straight into the tax savings. Then I'm moving money I have several different accounts, but then I'm going to move money into my operating so that I have for my operating expenses and money to pay me. But I move the money for taxes first.
Moving money for taxes first.
Because it's not my money. It's not my money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it any more than y'all do. And it's still not my money.
And
I don't piss the IRS off. Okay. So I need the money. and here's the key. I want to owe money. And people are like, you do? I'm like, yes. Because if I owe them money, that means my business is successful.
Yeah.
It means I made a profit. I don't want to be in business and not make a profit, y'all.
Yeah.
I have no desire to be in business and not make a profit. So I want there to be taxes that I owe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love this. This is really, really,
it comes down to, that relationship with money. You were talking about money being energy. Mm-hmm. If you have this negativity of, oh, I owe them money, I've got to pay freaking IRS, whatever. It could be $300 or $5,000. I can't believe. What are you doing? It's all negative, right? Yeah. That was all negative energy. So what'd you just do? You just put out negative energy around money that you hated money. Well, if you hate money, why would money come to you? I had a mindset coach say, she said something to me and it stuck with me and it still sticks with me today. If you treat someone like shit, would you keep coming back? If someone treated you like shit, see, I said it wrong. If someone treats you like shit, would you keep coming back? What's the answer?
No, of course not.
Then why would money?
Yeah. Yeah. Because what you put out there in the universe, right? What you put out there in the universe. And this is
she
all from
said that, and I went,
yeah.
She asked that, and I was one of the ones, hell no. She says, she says, if someone kept talking shit about you, would you keep coming back to listen? I was like, no. She said, then why would money? And I went,
yeah.
Like my mouth just dropped, and I went, oh, damn.
Yep. What you're putting out there.
It stuck with me because if we're saying money's energy and words are powerful, then how you react around the taxes and all that bitching and moaning, guess what? All the bitching and moaning about eggs and groceries. I catch myself. I'm human. I'm honest. I am totally human. I catch myself and I take a deep breath and I go, I thank you that I have the money and the ability to buy the groceries that my family needs to nourish themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I change it. It doesn't mean the thought's never going to come up. It's when the thought comes up, you recognize it, you stop, and you flip it. And then you say the gratitude, right? Because thank you that I get to pay taxes. I'm thankful that I get to pay taxes because that means my business was successful and my business made money.
Yes.
Which means my business was able to pay me, which means I was able to provide the things that me and my family need.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Energetic flow of money in and out. And because you're saying thank you, you're telling the universe to what? Yes, please. More, please. Bring me more. But if you're going, well, then why would the
Money,
universe bring you any more money if you're not going to want it to flow out and you're going to bitch, moan, and complain?
Yes, exactly. And honestly, and this is also something that I was like thinking about too the other day, like what you put out there, the universe is going to give you more of, right? The universe will always give you more of what you put out there. So if you're always like bitching and moaning and doing all that stuff about money, and of course I have those moments too. I had a moment the other day about that. And it's like, oh no, what am I actually putting out there into the universe? If you're not being grateful for what you have with money, then what exactly you're putting out there?
Well, one of the things I say is what you focus on, you create more of. So, which is the same thing. If what you're putting out into the universe, you're going to get back. What you focus on, you create more of. If you're focused on all the negativity, all the negative, then that's what you're going to create more of, and you're going to see more of, right? You're going to see it. It's just going to be there. It's like we attract it somehow. But if we focus on the positive, and if we focus on the gratitude, and we focus on the good things, then we create more of it.
Yep. And I which I agree with. We create more of what we believe and what we think. And this
what we focus on, we create more of.
Yes, exactly. That goes back into like the root chakra. Root chakra is all about money, right? It's all about, well, it's really all about safety, security, and stability. And what does that mean for most people?
Money provides those things. Yeah. Hence why it's not bad.
Yes, exactly. Money is like all of that. And it's when your root chakra isn't stabilized with your money, it brings all sorts of imbalance in a lot of different ways in your body and in your mind and in your spirit as well. So, and I would also, I would say when I read chakras in people, I would say more so with women, the sacral chakra is really unbalanced, which that's all like ego and divine feminine and masculine. But I always see a halo around the root chakra, which usually indicates that if there's a halo effect around the root chakra, it means that it's not completely filled, which means they might be making money, but there are some limiting beliefs around it still that is preventing them from making more money in their life. So
yeah, definitely. And I did an art. I'm going to be featured in a magazine, and one of the questions that she asked, and I actually touched on that, and I was like, I believe that your money management and your wealth mindset go hand in hand. So if you are disconnected from that positivity and you're always negative, then you're still going to be broke. It's not going to matter how much money you're making because you're in that scarcity mindset. Yes. And the same is true. You could be in that abundance mindset, and if you're not managing the money, if you're not knowing where your money is going, then it doesn't matter how much money you make. You can be in that abundance mindset and you're still going to be broke because you have all these leaks and you're not actually taking control and being empowered and managing your money the way you should. And the reason why I say the way you should is because I tell people all the time, if you don't tell your money where to go, if you don't tell your money where you want it to go, it's going to disappear on you.
Yeah. And I think a really good exercise would be taking a look at your money, like every single
get real with yourself. list all your monthly expenses. At least go through and list your subscriptions, because I guarantee you 9 out of 10 times every single person who's listening is going to find at least one subscription that they forgot about.
Yep. And
they totally forgot about. 9 out of 10 people will find at least one. And that's it's becoming, you've got, somebody told me all the time, it's same thing with working out. It's not being perfect working out every single day. It's being disciplined.
Yes.
It's being disciplined and making progress. And so now you're like, okay, I want to take that control back. What's the step I can take? First step, like you said, just start checking your account daily, not from, again, a place of judgment, a place of curiosity. Oh, okay, these charges are coming out. Do I know what that is? What's that for? I checked mine the other day. It was Amazon Prime coming out. And I was like, the hell is this $150 for? Now, I didn't have my money roadmap on me, okay, to go and look. And so I saw it and I was like, that's pending. What is that? And for the life of me, because it didn't say Amazon Prime, it just said Amazon. I was like, I didn't buy anything at Amazon for $150. And one of the ladies in the car, she goes, could that be your Prime membership? And I went, pulled up my money roadmap on my iPad so I could look at it. Sure enough, yep, it sure is. Thank you. Okay, that money needs to be moved from the yearly savings to the credit card because I had a plan for that already. But I was in the car and I didn't have my thing, but the point is I checked, right? I was doing a daily check.
Wow, interesting.
It's also how I found out that I was charged twice for something that I should only been charged once for.
Whoa, yeah. And I think that's the money leak. And when you know, knowledge is power, really. Knowledge is power when it comes to money.
I say it all the time. Knowledge is power. And when you have the knowledge of where your money's going, you get power. When you have your power, you become empowered. And then from that empoweredness, guess what comes? The feeling of being wealthy. Because you know what the hell's going on with your money.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what's going on, and exactly. Molly here has another question. Do you know anything about investing in stocks and whether doing so typically ends up being a bad idea?
The only thing I can answer, because I'm not a certified financial I cannot talk. I am not a certified financial advisor. Okay. However, I do know of some people that I network with that are certified, and those are the ones you want to be talking to. Okay. You do not want to talk and get advice from anyone that is not a certified financial planner, period. And if you need a list, please feel free to message me or message Supriya and let Supriya message me, and I will give you the ones I recommend. I have like 4 on my list that I truly recommend. They're awesome. They work with minority. One works women minority. The other one works with minority men and women. Those are the main 2. And then I have 2 other ones that work as well. They're freaking phenomenal. What I will say is investing in stocks is not a bad thing as long as you know what to do with it, right? As long as you're doing it. And if you're not ready to work with a certified financial planner yet, one of the things you could do is you could sign up for Acorns. Acorns is like a stock and a savings type thing. So you can also do an IRA and all that through that. But what I do is I recommend people do the Acorns because you can do it for your kids. And so it invests the money. So it's like stocks. It's not an IRA. It's like stocks, but it's for later. So like my daughter, who's under the age of 18, money just keeps being put in there per week. And then once she turns 18, it goes into her name and it just keeps being invested. So that's the way I started. Now I have a certified financial planner who's helping me because I want to invest in money. So my answer is, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It is a good way to become wealthy, and make sure who you're taking advice from is a certified financial planner and who actually asks you questions on what your plan is, what your goals are, what your values are. not just someone who just says, oh, how much money do you have to invest? And they're not listening to where you're at in that place. Like, if you're okay to invest in risky things or high volatile things, or if you want to play it a little bit safe at first, you need to talk to someone who actually truly gives a shit and who cares and who can help you. And I know I have several people in my network that are amazing certified financial planners.
I love that. Oh, yes. I mean, I know that, well, I have family members who like to invest, and we have financial advisors as well in our family too. So that's, I mean, if you have one and that can build that wealth, it's great.
Now,
But
I will give you some advice on what I do and what I help my clients do. When they tell me they're going to probably want to do that and they're running their own business, I'll tell them to open up another account, call it wealth building or wealth account, and then transfer 1 to 2% every single time you get paid from your clients. After you transfer your tax money, you transfer 1 to 2% of your money into that account and let it build. And then you let it build. And so every quarter you could then go to your financial planner or your financial advisor, or if you know enough about stocks that you're okay to do it, then you take that money and you invest it.
Love it.
Again,
Love it.
You're empowered, you're being in control when you're saying you want the money to go invest. And again, you're building wealth that way.
Gotcha. And that's absolutely wonderful, wonderful advice. And I know that we are about to hit the 1 hour mark here. Is there one last tip that you would like to, send out to everybody that is listening or will be listening or will be probably watching the replay about their money?
Don't judge. Don't beat yourself up for previous past mistakes. If you had some aha moments from this live or from the replay watching it, take them as aha moments. And then look and say, okay, from a place of curiosity, what can I do to change? Like, because if it hit a nerve, right? Or if you're like, oh, wait, do I know how much money is going into my subscriptions? Okay, go make that list. Do the small steps. There are small steps that you can do that will help you. Small steps. And, and I tell people all the time, building wealth is not something that's going to happen overnight. Building wealth comes from just like losing weight and working out and becoming more fit. It happens over time. You want to get into healthy habits, right? So the same thing with your money. You want to get into those healthy, wealthy habits so that you are being wealthy and you're being empowered and you have control. And we gave you several steps that, that you could choose. You could choose to do one and then go back and do other ones. If you're feeling confident, you wrote all 4 down, you're like, you know what, we're going for it. Then go for it. The key is not to judge yourself because of that.
Gotcha.
Because we all make mistakes. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with if you had, I tell people all the time, if you're a CEO of your business and you're getting to the point to where, you know what, I don't know what the hell's going on, ask for help. Y'all, I'm a fractional CFO. At some point, every single CEO of their business needs a fractional CFO, period. And that's because so you can be a CEO and then you have someone who is looking at your money and helping you manage it to reach those goals that you want to reach and take you from one level to another level by helping you strategize through the hiccups and the awesome sauceness of, because being an entrepreneur, we know we get hit with both. We get hit with all the awesomeness and then we get hit with the hiccups because hence all the valleys, right, that we get through. It's not a straight line. So it helps you through those things.
Yeah. Oh gosh, you dropped so much knowledge here, Lisa. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my website as transcendentwealthco.com. You can also find me on Facebook, the Sassy Wealth Queen, LinkedIn, all the social medias, and the handle is the Sassy Wealth Queen on all of them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you so much, Lisa, for coming on.
Thank you for
This
having
has
me.
been amazing, an amazing conversation about money, which I feel like a lot of my audience, whether or not they want to hear it, I think they need to hear it, really, about it. And honestly, some of the stuff kind of hit home for me too, for what you said. So,
Yay!
very grateful for you and coming on and presenting this. This is wonderful. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Molly, and everybody who came on the live show. And of course, we're going to be putting this on the podcast, the Apple and Spotify as well, podcast. Going to be putting this on as well. And of course, if you are listening to the podcast, rate me 5 stars, rate me 5 stars, and let us know that you liked it. And of course, send me a DM, or put it in your stories. Let us know that you liked it. Tag me at supriya.digital as well. Thank you so much, Lisa,
for having me.
And you guys have a wonderful manifesting rest of your day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.